You put up a topic, which I respect your thoughts and your opinion, but I respectfully disagree. You were talking about Brian McKnight. I actually know Brian McKnight. I've been knowing Brian since I was 15 years old. His manager, Herb Trawick, introduced me to him. I actually know Brian McKnight's wife and have loved her and knew her for years. Never had a full-on personal relationship with her like that, but I was around Brian McKnight often. I knew his kids. I knew his manager. I was around when he and Herb Trawick were signed Robin Thicke. I go way back. So what I am not doing, First Lady, Mrs. McKnight, you don't have to worry about me chiming into anything that has to do with you and your ex-husband, Brian McKnight, or your kids.
What's up, everybody? This is the world famous Ed Lover, and you are watching Forgotten Kings TV. That's right, Forgotten Kings TV. Come on, son.
I just want to say to Brian McKnight kids, to all of his kids, the ones that he said that's born out of evil or born in evil, whatever he said, whatever he claims, or whatever, let you know that you have a lot of support out here. We here at the Rickey Smiley Morning Show support you. If anybody get this message out to Brian McKnight, 2 sons and daughter, you are always welcome to the state of Alabama, to the great state of Alabama, where you have men and you have uncles and you have a lot of people in Birmingham that take on kids that have been abandoned by fathers. I've seen a lot of it, even with watching Little League football coaches that spend their own time, money, and resources into trying to make sure that the kids have everything they need. But I know that y'all are older. But if y'all ever feel any kind of way, or you feel unloved and need male figure, father figure, there's people out here like myself, and I know I can vouch for my brother from another mother, Ben Crump, and others. We would be more than happy to have you. You are not thrown away. You are not garbage. You are loved. You are to be respected. And there's a lot of group of men out here waiting to stand with you and make sure you have everything that you need. We are not here to try to replace your father, which that can't be done, but we can be something to you. One thing that I've learned not having a father, I know how it feels not to have a father, but I also understand what having a grandfather who stepped up and an uncle and uncles and coaches, what it meant to me. And it didn't replace, but man, it gave me a level of restoration that's unreal.
I do not want what I'm about to say to get into any politics. I don't want anybody to get in their feelings. We are all grown adults, like adults. So we're clear, I'm 45. I have a 16-year-old and I have a 5-year-old. If you don't have kids and you happen to be someone's kid or a teenager, or you're a grown-ass man or a woman, chime in. Now, I just recently watched a video from Rickey Smiley, who I actually have the utmost respect and love for that brother. As a comic, as a man, as what he stands for in the inner city, what he does above and beyond over the years to give back to the community. And I was one of those people, if you go in your DMs, I sent you multiple messages around the time that you dealt with the tragedy of losing your child. which is something that I couldn't even imagine, which is why I, along with the rest of the world, prayed for you. Our hearts broke for you, and we went out for you. And I still pray for you more often than you think, because what people don't understand about comedians is most people that do comedy mask their pain really well through keeping everybody else laughing and entertained, hoping that no one notice how much pain you're actually in. I think you know exactly what I'm talking about. You put up a topic, which I respect your thoughts and your opinion, but I respectfully disagree. You were talking about Brian McKnight. I actually know Brian McKnight. I've been knowing Brian since I was 15 years old. His manager, Herb Trawick, introduced me to him. I actually know Brian McKnight's wife and have loved her and knew her for years. Never had a full-on personal relationship with her like that, but I was around Brian McKnight often. I knew his kids. I knew his manager. I was around when he and Herb Trawick were signed Robin Thicke. I go way back. So what I am not doing, First Lady, Mrs. McKnight, you don't have to worry about me chiming into anything that has to do with you and your ex-husband, Brian McKnight, or your kids, because that's not my issue and that's not my topic. I got my own baby mama drama. I got my own ex-wives and child court cases and all kind of drama that's still going on. So that is not my place, or pretty much anybody's place, to chime into your specific family matters. What I want to address is I want to talk to my brother Rickey Smiley, and I want to say to you that it is unfair, in my grown-ass man opinion, to say that that man and his ex-wife and the mother of his kids, which are now grown adults, past 30 years old, whatever their specific dynamic is, there's a bunch of things that has been said and done over the years that is nobody's business, that has contributed to where they are. This is not fair to say, well, they my kids, or they grown, they adults, and so I ain't gonna ever turn my back on my kids. I ain't gonna ever not provide or be there or support or do whatever. Man, kids out here be saying some fucked up shit, bruh. Kids out here be crossing you and doing and saying and going above and beyond to cross you. I do not know what that man and that woman or his kids or anything about anything. Like, I literally know Brian. I have not had one conversation with Brian McKnight about his wife, his kids, or anything that went down between them, nor is it my business, nor is it my place to ask him, what happened, man? What's going on? This and that. None of my business. What I am addressing and talking about is I feel like it is not fair to act as if relationships between men and their children that at some point become adults can't fall apart, can't become extremely volatile and toxic. Listen, man, I know dudes that are in jail for getting in full-on fights with their fucking kids who grow up, who think they can talk to them and treat them any kind of way, stealing money, flirting with their girl or their wife inappropriately while they're in new relationships, crossing the line, doing all kind of shit that can make the dynamic between you and your daughter or your son completely off limits. Let's go even further. And I know a thing or two, so consider me a professional in this department. I want you guys to Google these words that a lot of you guys have never heard of. All the therapists, all of the psychiatrists, especially all of the family law attorneys, please chime in. Parenting alienation. Google it. Enmeshment. When kids or young adults or even grown folks are enmeshed and there is parenting alienation between the man trying to alienate the child or children from the mother, or the mother brainwashing and poisoning or trying to brainwash and alienate the kids or the adults from the father, that is a real thing. When you are enmeshed, which again, you should Google it by definition, read it on the airwaves to educate people. When parents are enmeshed with their kids or teens or young adults or adults, they lose sight of the dynamic between being a parent and a child or children. They talk to them about everything. They go into all of the specifics and details about the cheating or infidelity or the physical, emotional, psychological abuse. They're going on and going into specific details with the child or children because they do not understand the line between being a specific parent. A father and a mother is not friends with a child. You can develop a friendship with your child or children, but that is not your friend. That is your son, that is your daughter. Not to ever have the roles or the dynamics of the roles to ever be crossed or blurred. You can't go out tonight. Why I can't go out tonight? I'm blah. We all know what it is. And if we have never experienced disrespectful kids, today's kids are out of their fucking minds. So what ends up happening is when you're a father or you're a mother and you are no longer in the relationship with that ex-husband or that ex-wife, all of the negative, toxic, vindictive, evil, bitterness between the man, the woman. I'm not calling women bitter. I'm talking about bitterness, resentful, and a lot of malice and callous is just festering when the kids are around, especially the single mothers who ain't got nobody else but them kids to talk to. Everything that they think and feel about that child or children, it spews off. And so that animosity, that bitterness, and that anger, and all of that vile and fucked up energy, hear me out, even if it's the man's fault that woman feels the way she feels, when you are enmeshed and your mission is to alienate and stop that boy, that girl, or those children from thinking loving, beautiful, or highly favored thoughts about that father or that mother, because the venom can go both ways. Have you ever heard of brainwashing? Have you ever heard of people who literally cut off their father because of everything that their mother has spewed into those children or that child for years? So if you repeat the lie or you repeat the truth over and over and over again, if that little girl finds herself saying, I cannot believe my dad did all of these fucked up things to my mama, that little girl is going to align her thoughts and feelings and traumas and triggers and emotions to her mother. And everything that the mother feels about the father, the kids are going to end up feeling the same way. Everything that father feels about that mother, when they are enmeshed, when that man is spewing all of this vile, evil negativity off onto that little girl or that little boy and that girl becomes a teenager. The teenager becomes an adult. And they do not arrive at how they feel about their mother or their father on their own. Everything about their worldview of their mother or their father is through the lens of the vile, evil, venomous, vindictive beatdown that comes from the father into the little boy or little girl that becomes a teenager. That child don't want a fucking thing to do with her mother, their mother. That little boy and that little girl don't want a fucking thing to do with their father. I'm going to ask I'm going to start with the girls that are women, that are adults, that are teenagers. One of the most uncomfortable questions you could ever ask your mother. Have my mother, ask your mother these questions, because I did before my mother died. And it broke my heart to hear the truth, because she finally told me. Mom, how many times has my father attempted to call me? Don't focus on their answer. Focus on the body language when you ask the questions. Here's another one. Mom, how many times has my father attempted to call or see me or show up, text, call, want to be there for birthdays, holidays, pull up, want to drop off gifts, anything, go to my school? How many times has my father attempted to call, see me, interact with me, anything? Don't focus on the answer. Focus on the body language and the energy when you ask the questions. There's your answer. So a lot of you guys do not have a relationship with your father whatsoever. And it's not because your father hasn't attempted to have some type of relationship with you. There are deadbeat dads out here. The concept of a deadbeat father did not just randomly fall out of the fucking sky. The amount of women who have been cheated on, physically abused, mentally, emotionally, psychologically, fucked over, lied to, cheated on with their bridesmaids, their friends, their neighbors, their cousins, and they have had men. And I've been one of those men that's done a lot of fucked up shit to cause a lot of problems in my relationships. I am far from perfect. However, how much damage was actually done to your mother? And based on the level of damage that was done to your mother, did that stop your mother from saying the way I feel about your father? I don't want you, little girl, little boy, or children, to have a fucking thing.
Hey guys, shop with my boy Chick Smooth at chicksmooth.shop.
Y'all know the MREC room etiquette. Peace, you now tuned in to MREC TV.
What if someone wasn't on protocol?
There are consequences.
the Knockout Kings of Comedy. This your boy, Reggie Curl, you know what I'm saying? This is my cousin, Stroncho, you know what I'm saying? We coming by.
No, I know me, old you fuck with lambskin condoms.
I don't even want my man to eat my because I eat meat from Aldi's. The wrong with you? Aldi's, you should eat this. We don't know what the that meat is. No!
For real, I heard a nigga get in prison. That's not the part about it. The part about it is he had the audacity to ask me why I ain't helping my shit ain't no point of both of us get.
I step up, look him right in his eyes. He go to pat me down. Pop, 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 pop. $20, homeboy. I'm like, no sir.
First of all, can I ask y'all a personal question? Is this microphone really necessary at this
Y'all out. We knock y'all with punchline, punchline, punchline. You know how we turn. Give me a second.